Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Makam and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Habashai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the last Wakash tongue. That's it, rocked on to the elders and apostles, what I mean, what I brought from Let's say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the prophecy updates as of June 24th, 2025 on this Tuesday morning. And as you've seen, Iran and Israel and the United States, they all agreed on a ceasefire deal. And we're going to see how that plays out, this ceasefire between these both countries of Iran and Israel. So we're going to see if that ceasefire is going to last long. But I just want to add a side note to that. But meanwhile, you still got other escalations are heating up around the world with the Russia-Ukraine situation still intensifying. But we still seeing wars and rumors of wars, like it says in the book of Matthew, 24 verse 6 to verse 7. As I had a sad note there. And this is a news article from RT.com, June 24th, 2025, and it reads, it says Ukrainian kamikaze drone hits residential tower near Moscow, photo show. It says a pregnant woman was rushed to a hospital after the incident, according to the local government. It says rescue workers at the scene of a drone attack in the Krasnodar, Russia, if I pronounced that right, on June 24, 2025. Moscow Regional Governor Andrei Babakov via Telegram shows. It says a Ukrainian kamikaze drone struck residential tower outside the Russian capital on Tuesday, putting 2 people in the hospital and destroying the apartment, according to the Moscow Regional Governor Andrei Babakov. The strike occurred in early morning in the Krasnodar, a satellite city west of Moscow that falls under the administration of Moscow region. The photos from the scene shows damage at the 17th floor, at the top of the 17th floor, of the high rise. A local both said a 34-year-old man suffered minor injuries and was treated and released from the hospital, and a pregnant woman rushed and suffered extensive scratch remains under the observation, and a ventral tool unit. Neither her life nor the baby was in danger, the official said. Media reports suggested that the Detroit apartment was empty at the time of the strike, rather than occupied by 2 individuals mentioned by the government. According to the Report and the Defense Ministry, 3 long-range Ukrainian drones were engaged by air defense over Moscow region overnight. They kept regular launch, such as waves at night, ranging from 100 to at least 20 at the latest waves. Crunching brought both home to more than 190,000 people. Houses, key regional government bodies include legislation, high courts, and administration buildings in all clusters with 5 kilometers of the damaged residential complex. The Ukrainian officials maintain their drone strikes are aimed to military targets on the Sunday. General Alexander Sheresky and the country's top military officials vowed to expand the scope of the reach of such operations. Russian authorities are investigating multiple cases in which Ukrainian forces are alleged to deliberately target civilians. Infrastructure and non-combatant officials accused Kevin of using tactics as a response to the inability of the whole Russian advance on the battlefield. So this Russia-Ukraine situation is definitely going to continue to intensify because it's been heating up ever since February of 2022 all the way into now. And that's what you call wars and rumors of wars. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not in trouble for all these things, but first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so just like Yahweh Shai mentioned, these signs come to these times of modern day wars and rumors of wars. But you're still going to have these modern day wars and rumors of wars between these nations. Despite the fact Iran and Israel got this ceasefire deal, but you still got other nuclear escalation tensions are heating up. The Russia-Ukraine situation still intensifying. You got this summit meeting. We're going to have the European Union going to spend their military defense, increase that NATO. They're going to increase their military defense of the ongoing tensions that they have against Russia. Russia, NATO, that's going to continue to heat up. EU versus NATO, EU versus Russia, that's going to heat up. Belarus and Russia together, that's going to heat up. Belarus and Russia together, military, economic alliance partners going against the EU and the NATO as well too. We see the military building up, it's heating up over there in the northern flank and the eastern flank over there in Europe. So we definitely going to see these modern day wars and rumors of wars heating up, despite the fact that Iran and Israel got a ceasefire, but you still got these other nations in that warlike mindset. You still got the tensions are heating up over there in the South China Sea. Over there in Korean Peninsula, North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, United States, we still see that heating up. And we see what's taking place down there in the South China Sea. China versus Taiwan, that's heating up. And we see what's over there in disputed territorial waters. And we see in China versus Philippines, that's been heating up. A Russia-Ukraine situation, Russia versus NATO, that's heating up. All these wars and rumors for. You still got proxy wars still going to continue to heat up. Especially the rebellions of those pro-Iranian groups, they still in solidarity with those Israel defense. They still in solidarity with the pro-Iranian. So you're still going to have heavy raids over there in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, the Palestinian territory, despite the fact they had a ceasefire. Because you're still going to have clashes, uprisings, uproars, wars, rumors of wars. As I mentioned, additional side note to that. Matthew 24 verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet. Right, so all these signs are going to come to pass, but they're not going to end it yet. Matthew 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation. Right, the Russia-Ukraine situation. Russia versus Ukraine. Russia versus NATO and EU. So these are nation against nation. What's goes to F notes. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, we're going to see these high magnitude of these earthquakes in diverse places. Just like you had that large 6.5 earthquake over there in the Philippines yesterday. I did sit down lesson on that last night. And then you're going to have these modern day pestilence. We'll be seeing this cholera outbreak, Lister outbreak, measles outbreak, and different type of variants of pestilence plagues. And we'll be seeing more and more these other times. C-19 cases are increasing once again. And we're going to see the famines. We're seeing heavy famines over there in Sudan, throughout that whole region. We're seeing famines over there in the Gaza Strip. And that lets you know those IDF, they so cool that they delete citizens trying to get military aid dropped to them. And then the Israel Defense Force unjustly delete them, So, hey, these are seditions, uprising, people who love many of us cold. That's what we're seeing in our world today, That's only going to continue to increase. So I just want to add a side note to that. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Matthew 24 verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, so all these are very important biblical signs that the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahushua spoke about before Yahushua makes return. It's going to continue to increase, and it's going to come to pass, we feel. So these are just the beginning of sorrows that are about more to come. That's what we're seeing. And this is the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, and verse 24. It says, if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Right, so if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing modern day kingdom against modern day kingdom, modern day nation against modern day nation, which goes to F notes. If a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Because you're still going to have modern day kingdoms being divided against one another in many different categories, etc. What's up, Jamana? Good morning, sir. Hey, Jamana, I'm talking to you when you woke up. This is St. Mark chapter 3, verse 25. And if a house be divided, itself, the house cannot stand. Right, so if a house be divided, itself, the house cannot stand. That's what we're seeing. especially from a political standpoint. You got the liberals being divided against one another. You got the conservatives being divided against one another. And then you got the conservatives against the liberals. That's what we're seeing with these protests, uprisings, uproars of the world, which are going to continue to increase. So we definitely going to have seeing these modern day times, modern day kingdoms being divided, and modern day houses being divided. That's what we're seeing. This is the book of Luke 21. Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity destroying." Right, so that's what we're seeing, increasing distress of nations with perplexity destroying. We still got wars and rumors of wars still going on. We see the famines of pestilent plagues. We see the seditions among the nations, uprisings and uproars of the world. And you definitely can put that in the category of the increasing of the distress of nations, which is going to continue to increase because he's just the increasing of beginning of sorrows, like it says in Matthew 24 verse 8. And there should be signs in the sun and moon, which we're seeing the increasing signs in the sun and moon and the stars. And of course, upon the earth, distress of the nations with perplexity destroying, which is going to continue to see that increase. And this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3 and verse 1. A time for everything. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose in heaven. Right, so we're living in modern days of our times, season, every purpose in heaven, which is modern day biblical signs and signs of times. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3 and verse 8. And a time to love, and a time of HATE, and a time of war, and a time of peace. Right, so we definitely live in a time of HATE and a time of war, which is only going to continue to increase. And that's what we're seeing. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes of world's people will right. So, like I mentioned again, we're gonna have these high magnitude earthquakes in various places on an everyday basis. Because you had a 6.5 earthquake over there in the Philippines, and it filled places like Myanmar and Thailand. As I read that news article earlier today and yesterday as well too. And you had a 5.8 earthquake over there in the Dominican Republic. So these are signs that we're gonna be seeing earthquakes in various places, and we're gonna be seeing the uproars people world. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, seditions, uprising, uproars, world. So we're going to be seeing this increasing on an everyday basis as we enter in that 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, which is that great inspiration uprising. So we're seeing previous signs of it. So these are the times we're about to enter into. That's why we're seeing these war, evil, and pestilence, which is going to continue to increase. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. It says, "For the sword that destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up and fight against another with swords and hands." Write these up. Come on, then. Yeah.
Go knock on the door and tell them the water's still coming down. See the water right there?
Yeah.
Go knock on the door and tell them.
Is Anthony? Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, Mom said in that water part from that in the kitchen in there, it's like still leaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Did y'all tell Shonda? We
No.
started with the air not even on right now.
Right.
Because I think it was leaking from the air being on. So, because when they fixed it last week, didn't somebody come fix y'all last week?
No, I think because Ms. Brown said they was supposed to like fix the pipes or something like that. Then that should have been stopped from leaking.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think last week somebody came over here to do that, and they put a piece in here. They fixed it. It was something they needed to fix. They fixed it. So the air, so it's just started doing it again?
Yeah, it's now.
I don't know, because our air not even on, so I don't know why that's leaking.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on. This building is
Yeah,
crazy. It's
it's
always
crazy.
something wrong.
yeah,
So now it's leaking again.
yeah.
Okay, well, our air not on, so it's not, I mean, if it's leaking, I don't know where it's coming from, because I know somebody working up there too today, but they supposed to be fixing something.
Right.
So I don't know if it might be coming from them, because they fixed that whatever was leaking in here down to y'all.
Right.
So I'm gonna just tell Shonda what you said, and then because somebody's supposed to come again today,
Okay.
because the refrigerator not working. So
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm just telling you that what was happening that made it leak before was the air, and we don't have the air on. So that's probably not what it is.
Okay.
It might be coming from upstairs. That's all I can say. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. All right.
Sorry, but it's always something happening in this building.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's like every day is something else.
Yeah, because we've been here for like about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the water leakage. Then
Oh, it was doing it all the time. So let me ask you a question. Do y'all electricity be tweaking too?
It started doing that like
Flicking lights and stuff?
yeah, it was doing that like recently. Like
It's not
like
doing
last
that no
month.
more?
No,
Because it was doing it at first. They had to have somebody come out here and like the house, the outside to like fix it.
It's doing it up here all the time. So I meant to ask Miss Bessie that too. I was wanting to ask her, is her electricity acting crazy? So I don't. Okay, well I'll tell Shonda y'all stuff leaking again.
Okay.
Cause I don't know. I'm gonna tell her also the air not on. So that was what was doing it before. So
Right.
I don't know. But when whoever come today, I guess they could look at it again because they supposed to come after 6. So
Right.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.